Heat presentation by Victoria Chekwan. Heat is a movement of thermal energy from a high to low temperature. It transfers from one place to another by processing of conduction, convection, and radiation. Heat is energy transferred from a hot object to a cooler object, or from a cooler object to a hot object. If there is a cup of coffee and is placed on a countertop, it will eventually cool down by heating the air around it. If there is a cold soda pop placed on a countertop, it will eventually cool down to room temperature. Heat transfers can work both ways, from hot to cold to hot. Heat is transferred by thermal energy between objects. Heat always flows from warm objects to a cooler object. Thermal energy. Thermal energy is the movement transmitted within the object, is what makes the object warm or hot. The types of motion in matter increase. Thin transitional motion increases kinetic energy and therefore increases in rotational and vibrational motion increase potential energy. So an example of thermal energy would be a metal spoon in a hot pan and a wooden spoon in a hot pan. The metal spoon will have more kinetic energy inside of it, and it will heat up to the point that you are not able to touch it with your bare hands because it could burn you. A wooden spoon will not warm up to the point that you cannot touch it. It will just warm up, it will not heat up. It will just be warmed up with the atoms in it are a lot slower and will not generate as much energy as the metal spoon would. And temperature. Temperature is a measurement of the hotness or the coldness of a substance related to the average kinetic energy per molecule in a substance, measured in degrees Celsius or in degrees Fahrenheit or in kelvins. Temperature is the degrees of how hot or cold a substance is. Example, a cup of coffee can be heated up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. A baby's temperature can be 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Or ice cream. Ice cream can be cold. An example of temperature would be this milkshake. The liquid in the milkshake are moving more slowly and have a lower average kinetic energy than a hot cup of coffee that has a higher average of kinetic energy because the atoms are moving in more faster. These are just forms of, this would be degrees Celsius, this would be hot and melting, this would be Fahrenheit, 32, cold and hot, and this would be Kelvin, 0 thermal variation and hot. Heat, thermal energy, and temperature measurements and tools. Measurement of heat is done in calories. 1 calorie is the amount of energy required to take 1 gram of water and 1 degree Celsius. Tools of measurement are thermometers, or different types of thermometers used for food and the heat outside of the house and inside of the house. So this would be an oven thermometer, a meat thermometer, a candy thermometer, and an instant read thermometer, which also here we would use the thermometers that we use to measure our body heat. Countries that still use Celsius and Fahrenheit, the countries in red, which is Alaska and the United States. Basically, the United States is a country and its territories still use Fahrenheit. All the rest of the world uses Celsius. And these are your references.